How many blocks do I need for a 3-bedroom house? It's one of the most common questions I get, and for a very good reason. Get the number wrong, and you're either left with a mountain of wasted blocks and wasted money, or you're scrambling to find more materials mid-project, causing frustrating and costly delays. But don't worry. Today, we're going to demystify the entire process. We'll break it down step by step, so you can approach your project with confidence and build smart from day one. So, what actually determines that final number? It's not just one thing, it's a combination of several critical factors. First, the overall design and size of your house. A sprawling bungalow on a large plot will have a much larger footprint and therefore more wall length than a compact 2-story design on a smaller plot. The total length of all your walls is the starting point for everything. Then, there's the wall height. Are you building to a standard height of, say, 3 meters, or does your design feature high vaulted ceilings? Every extra foot in height adds another course of blocks across the entire building. The type of block you use is hugely important. The two most common sizes, particularly here in Nigeria, are the 6-inch block, which is about 150 millimeters wide, and the 9-inch block at 225 millimeters. 9-inch blocks are thicker and stronger, typically used for external, load-bearing walls, while the slimmer 6-inch blocks are often used for internal partition walls. Because they are larger, you will naturally need fewer 9-inch blocks to cover the same wall area compared to 6-inch blocks. We also have to consider if the blocks are hollow or solid. Solid blocks offer more strength and soundproofing but are heavier and more expensive. Hollow blocks are lighter, cheaper, and provide some insulation, making them a popular choice. Finally, we must account for mortar thickness. That small gap between each block, usually about 10 to 15 millimeters, adds up over hundreds of blocks, and a waste allowance. You should always factor in an extra 5 to 10% for blocks that may get broken during transport, handling, or cutting on site. Now, let's get into the fundamental maths. It's simpler than you think. The first step is to calculate the total length of all your walls. This is called the linear meter run. You get this from your architectural drawings. Go through the floor plan and add up the length of every single wall, all the external walls and all the internal walls. Let's say for a simple house, the total length comes to 100 meters. Step 2 is to find the total wall area. To do this, you multiply that total wall length by the height of the walls. If our wall height is 3 meters, we multiply our 100 meter length by 3 meters, which gives us a total gross wall area of 300 square meters. This is the entire surface area we need to cover with blocks before we account for any openings. Step 3 is to subtract the area of all openings. Your house isn't a solid box. It has windows and doors. You need to calculate the area of each one and subtract it from your total wall area. For example, a standard door might be 2.1 meters high by 0.9 meters wide, giving it an area of 1.89 square meters. A window might be 1.2 by 1.2 meters, an area of 1.44 square meters. Add up the areas of all doors and all windows. Let's imagine for our example house, the total area of all openings is 40 square meters. We subtract this from our gross wall area. 300 square meters minus 40 square meters leaves us with a net wall area of 260 square meters. This is the actual area we need to fill with blocks. The final step is to convert this net area into the number of blocks. To do this, you need to know how many blocks cover 1 square meter. A standard block in Nigeria is 450 millimeters long and 225 millimeters high. Including a 10 millimeter mortar joint, this effectively becomes 460 millimeters by 235 millimeters. However, for quick and widely accepted estimation, builders know that you need approximately 10 blocks to cover 1 square meter of wall. So, we take our net wall area of 260 square meters and multiply it by 10. That gives us 2,600 blocks. Finally, we add our waste allowance. Let's use 5%. 5% of 2,600 is 130. So, our total estimated number of blocks is 2,600 plus 130, which equals 2,630 blocks. Let's apply this to a real-world case study. Here is a simple 3-bedroom bungalow. The total linear wall length, adding up all external and internal walls, is 95 meters. The wall height is 3 meters. So the gross wall area is 95 times 3, which is 285 square meters. The design has 12 square meters of window openings and 8 square meters of door openings, for a total of 20 square meters to be deducted. This leaves us with a net wall area of 265 square meters. If we build entirely with 6-inch blocks, we multiply 265 by 10, giving us 2,650 blocks. Adding a 5% waste allowance of 133 blocks, the total comes to approximately 2,783 blocks. Now, what if the client wants the external walls built with 9-inch blocks for extra strength? Let's say 50 meters of the wall length is external. That's 50 meters times 3 meters high, which is 150 square meters of external wall. This would require 1,500 9-inch blocks. The remaining 45 meters of internal walls would still use 6-inch blocks. This shows how the mix of block types affects the final count for each. This is how we arrive at that typical range of 2,500 to 3,500 blocks for an average 3-bedroom house. Now let's look at a slightly more complex design. This second 3-bedroom house is larger and includes a front porch, some decorative blockwork columns, and a small generator house. These extras add to the total block count. The porch has dwarf walls and columns that need to be calculated. The generator house is like a mini building on its own. The total linear wall run for this design might be 120 meters instead of 95. Using the same 3-meter height, the gross area is now 360 square meters. Even with similar window and door openings, say 25 square meters, the net area is 335 square meters. This would require 3,350 blocks before waste. Adding 5% for waste takes the total to over 3,500 blocks. You can see how architectural features, even small ones, quickly increase the material requirements. Let's talk a bit more about those openings. While windows and doors reduce the overall block count for the main wall area, they also introduce other considerations. Above every door and window, you need a lintel, a horizontal beam that supports the weight of the blocks above the opening. These are often made of precast concrete or cast on site. Furthermore, the areas around openings, especially the corners of windows, are points of stress. Some building practices require using solid blocks or filling hollow blocks with concrete in these specific areas to add strength, which can slightly alter your mix of hollow versus solid blocks. It's a small detail, but these professional touches are what separate a standard build from a high-quality one. While our quick math provides a very good estimate, the only way to get a truly precise figure is with a professional bill of quantities, or BOQ. A BOQ is a detailed document prepared by a quantity surveyor. They go through the architectural and structural drawings with a fine-tooth comb, measuring every single element of the build. Not just the blocks, but the exact amount of sand, cement, reinforcement bars, roofing sheets, everything. They account for every nook, every cranny, every complex detail that our simple calculation might overlook. The BOQ is the gold standard for project costing and material scheduling. It's the document your contractor will use to build and the bank will use for financing. It turns estimation into an exact science. With your numbers in hand, how should you go about buying the blocks? My number one tip is this: never, ever buy all your blocks at once based on an initial estimate. It's far wiser to order them in batches. Perhaps you order the first 1,000 or 1,500 blocks needed for the foundation and the first few courses of the superstructure. This phased approach improves cash flow and reduces the risk of theft or damage on site. When the blocks arrive, ensure you have a designated, stable and dry area for storage. Stacking them neatly on wooden pallets off the ground prevents them from absorbing moisture and reduces the chance of breakage, saving you money and ensuring you use high-quality materials throughout your build. It's also important to remember the local context. Here in Nigeria, the standard block size is 450 by 225 millimeters, and the 10 blocks per square meter rule is a reliable standard. However, if you're building elsewhere, always confirm the local standard block dimensions and consult with local builders or suppliers, as practices can vary. Always adapt your calculations to the materials and standards available in your specific region. So to recap, start by calculating your total wall length, multiply by the height to get the gross area, subtract the areas for all windows and doors, and then convert that net area to a block count, remembering to add a percentage for waste. This method gives you a powerful and reliable estimate. But for ultimate precision, always invest in a professional bill of quantities. Planning is everything. Taking the time to get your numbers right at the start saves you an immense amount of time, money, and stress down the line. Build smart today. If you found this guide helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like this video for more practical construction tips.